Hey, what's up guys? Want to do another knife review? We'll be talking about this knife right here. It is the Victorinox baker's knife. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this review just because of the fact that it is long out of production, so it's going to be a little bit harder to find. I can tell you that I've seen them on eBay, and as of the posting of this video, there was two on eBay. Buy it nows for $18 or so from the same dealer or seller. But anyway, I mean, you're going to find them here and there. You're not going to find them new on any websites, is my point. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time doing this review. Plus, it's a very basic knife. There's not a whole lot to say about it. But I wanted to start the review off just with showing a couple different Victorinox models here to give you a size reference in case you have these other models. On the right here is a 2008 Soldier. This is the Silver Alex model. Has the aluminum oxide, basically aluminum scales on it. Of course, there's the knife we're talking about today. It's the Victorinox baker's knife, also referred to as the twine knife. A lot of people bought it and used it for twine cutting, you know, opening up bales of hay and so forth. To the left there is the Victorinox Secretary, which is also very slick, thin frame on there, but it has two blades, so it's just a hair thicker in width than the baker's knife. And only on the left here, I've been actually EDCing this for a while now. This is another gift from Christmas. If I didn't already mention, I got this one for Christmas as well. But this is a custom Victorinox Classic. It has wood scales on it, but the scales are identical to the original as far as size and width. So I just want to give you a comparison there, and it's got a cool little lanyard on it as well. So there it is for size reference. So anyway, let me put these, leave those two there because I want to. They kind of compare directly with each other more so than the other ones. Just want to give you a couple references. But you can see here as far as size, the baker's knife is just a hair longer on the main blade there. And of course the handle is just a little bit slimmer as well. But if I put them side by side here and show you the width, even though they're very, very close, the back spring on the Secretary is just a tiny, tiny bit wider. And the scales are exactly the same as far as width goes. But anyway, they're both the smooth Alex scales, which is pretty cool compared to the Soldier here, which has the kind of stippling or texture on it. So that's pretty nice as well. But anyway, super light knife. It is has a single blade. There's no other tools in here. It's very simple. Two aluminum scales, a couple rivets, your back spring, and your blade. And that's pretty much it, which makes it extremely, extremely lightweight. This weighs less than 1 ounce. It's 0.65 according to my scale, which I just put fresh batteries in, so I trust that weight. Fortunately, I have nothing to compare it to because there's not a whole lot of information on this knife out there. But anyway, the blade here is 2 3/4 inches long, which is enough usable blade for a lot of different tasks. And I'll tell you what I'm going to be using this knife for, you know, a little bit later as well. But closed here we have 3.5 inches. So all the way open, it's 6 1/4 inches long. Hopefully you can see it in my hand. Kind of a medium to smaller size pocket knife. I really, really like the blade style here. What we have is a hawkbill blade that's fully serrated. It's called the baker's knife because serration, as well as the hawkbill, is very effective at cutting different kinds of breads, especially bagels, some tougher type breads, Portuguese rolls, you know, stuff like that. Portuguese. I think I said Portuguese. Portuguese? That's plural? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's serrated blades. A very sharp serrated blade is by far much better to use than a plain edge blade when cutting different kinds of breads, especially crusty breads or more dense breads. And of course, if you have a kitchen block with different kitchen knives, you'll know that the bread knife is the very long one with the serrated edge. And no point, because you don't need to stab anything with a bread knife. Anyway, very, very effective at its job. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but this is also known as the twine knife. A lot of people bought this knife and used it for cutting twine, you know, breaking open bales of hay and you know, newspaper, stuff like that. It works very effective for that as well. With the curved blade, it's easy to kind of hook into something. And as you're doing cutting a draw cut, when you're cutting back, the material kind of grabs and collects inside of this edge. And I'm going to show you a demo real quick here. I just wanted to grab a piece of cardboard here just to give you a visual demonstration of this. The difference between, say, a drop point blade like this Secretary as opposed to the hawkbill blade. When I cut into material, now I'm not going to be pulling this way. Normally I would be cutting that way, but if I just pull it out, because it'll give you a better visual representation. As I pull out, you'll see the edge, the edge of the blade there is just riding along the same line that it punctured through, right? just rides straight down. Now, although this is a sharp knife and it will cut fine, the hawkbill style blade, put it through the same hole here, even just pulling backwards, hopefully you can hear that. Of course I can feel it, but it's cutting more into the material because of the shape of the blade. This cardboard has nowhere to go but deeper into this curve. Okay, so it helps force cut material, and the material itself actually bunches up inside the curvature of the blade. So it's extremely effective. Of course, you have a nice narrow point on this as well. It's very nice for kind of rip cutting. You can be pretty precise with it when you're cutting. It's a really cool design. I really like hawkbill style blades. In fact, I'm a big fan of karambit style knives, although I have not showed many on my channel. But anyway, just wanted to explain that a little bit for someone who are maybe new to knives or just doesn't understand why the blade's shaped like that. It's really effective at cutting. Very, very effective. The one downside you have obviously is penetration is not a big deal, but if you were to thrust or stab, obviously you have to do it at somewhat of an angle, because if you come in square with something, it's not going to want to penetrate as easy as if you canted it, you know what I mean? But I don't think that's a big issue, and that's not what this knife was intended to do, or the blade style. But anyway, very cool knife. Just wanted to show you this. I love the knife quite a bit. I wish they still made it. I wish, you know, you guys had an easier source to buy them. But like I said, unfortunately, it is what it is. You're gonna have to look on the knife forums or blade forums in the for sale or trade sections. Your best bet probably is just eBay. And when they pop up, if you happen to get lucky, maybe win one in an auction, or if it's a buy now, even better. But anyway, that's the Victorinox baker's knife. Just want to compare it real quick. Obviously, I already showed you this. This is the Secretary. I also have a customized Sac Classic. It has wooden scales on here, but the scales are identical to the original, so they're the same width. Again, just want to give you a comparison here for size. And our last knife here that I broke out just to compare is the Soldier. Now, I don't know if I noticed it, or mentioned it rather, but we have nice smooth Alex handles on the baker's knife as opposed to the knurling or texture that we have on the Soldier. So something a little bit different. I like it. It's just really cool. What I'll end up using this knife for is light pruning. I'm not going to have like an in-ground garden this year because obviously I moved. I don't have my old garden anymore, but I will do some kind of gardening, maybe in pots on my deck or porch, or maybe both. But I'll have separate videos on that when the time comes. But this will be my pruning knife. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the review. It's a very cool knife. If you happen to find one, pick them up. They are collectible, but I'm going to be using this one. It's already used, so it'll continue to get some use. And I did sharpen this. The serrations on here are scalloped. There's no real tight, pattern on there, so I was able to actually strop this up to a very reasonable edge. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.